Hey everybody, welcome to AI Toolbox and Reviews. Today I've got a really awesome tool I'm going to show you. It's called Murf AI. It's a great versatile AI voice generator, really realistic voices that you can use for any type of purposes with your creation and things. I'll show you some of the categories that it suggests here. And what I'm also going to do is go through a demo of how I use ChatGPT combined with Murf AI to create a murder mystery podcast. So those are really popular these days. So through that process, I'll show you how the functionality works and how you can quickly create something really cool with this technology. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. You can see here on the front page of homepage, of Murf AI. Uh, as usual, it kind of goes through all of the different highlights of the product. You can see it's won multiple awards here, which is pretty cool. Good to know that it's well thought of. Talks about a voice for every need. So some of the ideas and categories here that to create projects with for marketers, educators. I can see a big use for educators here. Podcaster, like we're talking about today, like I'm going to demo. Obviously, YouTube videos, marketing, things like that, customer support. So really cool product with multiple uses. Kind of scrolling down here, of course, it just talks about the different highlights of what the functionality is. Get creative, vast library of voices, 120 plus voices, 20 languages, which is really cool. I'll show you some of those. You can add your own videos, add your own music or images. It also has a vast library of all of those things that are easy to find. We'll go through that. Another really cool thing is that you can convert home recordings to voiceovers, meaning that you can upload your own voice or own recording, and then you can apply one of the AI voices that it has here within the product and have that be the voice that people hear rather than maybe an old recording or something like that. So further down on the homepage here, it's got some things for some examples and things. You can click on these and go through some of the demos of it. So you've got advertisements, promotional video examples, some inspirational stuff here, e-learning videos, explainer videos, of course, a big thing, especially for YouTubers out there. And then podcasts, similar to what I'm going to be kind of demoing today. So you can click on one of these and kind of hear what some of the sample voices that they have here. So I'll click on this one and just kind of play it for you.
So many of us have dealt with mental trauma all our lives, yet very few of us feel comfortable.
All right, so there's 10 seconds of a podcast example that they have there, which is pretty cool. You can hear how realistic the voice is there for that one. Then further down, it's got some blog items here, so some educational pieces for people that are new to this software, this application, how they use it, kind of the future of voiceovers, some really cool, interesting reading there, and a little bit of kind of know-how there for you as well. Of course, the FAQs. And then it goes into some further descriptions of what all it can do. Voiceover video, voice editing, cloning, voice changer, and so on. So it goes into some of the other functionality that I'll go into as well. Up at the top here, you can see there's different products that it suggests that it offers there, what you can create. Again, advertisements, presentations, podcasts, YouTube videos, video games, IVR voices, all sorts of great applications for this. And then it goes into the pricing menu here, which I'll get into later on. Now you've noticed that it has the studio button here up on the top right. And then as we scroll through, you've seen a few buttons here, like this one says Open Studio. So Studio is where you can do your work. You can go into your projects and so on and upload things and really work on your project. So we're going to go ahead and go there into Studio here. And when you do, you can see it's at Murf Studio, has your account information on here. It defaults to the My Projects tab. You can see I've got a couple of projects in here already. You can create a new one, create a workspace. It's got some templates in here as well. So if you wanted to not start from scratch, you could use one of their templates here. You can kind of play it and see what it looks like here. Business promos, mobile apps, presentations, and so on. You can play them, and you can just click on Customize, and you can build from there. Then the My Account is just a synopsis of what your account is, your subscription, and so on. So I'll go back to my projects, and if I wanted to kind of go through our demo here, I want to create a podcast for an ebook. So to do that, I would create a new project, and when I would do that, it takes you to the Create Project page where you'd type in your project title. I'll just leave it for now. This is not set in stone. You can change it anytime you like. Then down below here, it's got audio and video, and within audio, it's got start blank, some different categories based on what project you're working on. So there's podcasts there if you're doing audio. You can add video and things like that into an audio one, just so you know it's not strictly hold you to audio. But if you have a video piece, again, you can start with a blank slate, and then you can also choose one of these categories that may fit into what project you're doing. So today, for our purposes, I'm going to go to audio. I'm going to go ahead and click on podcast, since that's what we're doing, and then click on create project. When you do that, it refreshes back into the kind of studio template here, but you're actually in a project. So here's the name of my project here. I can click on home to go back to the studio home. This goes back to the studio home as well. Then along the left-hand side, you've got Explore AI Voices, some import script, add media, and voice changers. So Explore AI Voices is just that. You can take a look at all their library of voices that they have available, both depending on what your subscription might be. You can see Pro in here. You can hide the Pro voices if that's not the subscription you have. And you can have these ones that are basically free here that you can utilize, different languages and so on. You can see when you choose, there's English, US and Canada, English UK, Australia, and so on. And scrolling through here, like it said, I think it said like 20 plus languages on here that you can choose from, which is pretty cool option there. And then you can choose male or female. If you want to filter this down, you can choose different age groups, young, middle-aged, kid, just for the kind of sound of the voice you're looking for, the tone. And then also what's really cool here is in this use case area here, you can select more and you can kind of narrow it down even further based on kind of what kind of voice you might want. I'm going to do a podcast, or I'm doing an audiobook, explainer video, and it can kind of filter out those ones that may not fit the project you're using. So that's the select a voice option here. And if you know a name, you can search for it by name. Up here in the top, if you want to have the same voice you choose here to apply to your entire project, you just check that box as well. I'm going to go ahead and close it here. I'm going to show you a different way that you can get into this menu as well here in just a second. Going further down on the left-hand side, you've got import script. So if you already have a script written and downloaded onto your laptop and you want to upload it into the Murf Studio application, you can do that through there. It'll just allow you to upload a file. So you select a file and so on from there. Add media is just that. That's where we can get our music, images, and you can filter here over on the left-hand side. So close that out. And then voice changer is what I talked about before. So if you have a voice recording of yourself or someone else and you want to use a voice from Murf AI, you can upload that recording and you can change the voice and it'll transcribe that into the new voice if you'd like to do that. Okay, so in the main screen here, you can see I'm in the editing mode here. The main screen, it's ready for you to enter any text here, and it's got a default AI voice for you. That's Nate for English in Canada under my basic plan. And then down here, it's got our timeline where we're going to eventually be able to play what we've created. So going through some of the options here, what you can do, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my studio home because I'm going to bring up a mystery novel I've already created, kind of save us time on the video here, but I'll be able to explain the features using this from there. So you can see I've got the same layout here. These white rectangles here are called blocks. And then within there, you have the different sentences. You can have it laid out in sentence form, split out by sentences, by paragraphs. You can have it read that way. From there, you can grab and hold and shift these around if you like. If you want to switch the order of anything, you can click right into here, change any of the text if you like. You can change pronunciation. Let's say the AI voice didn't pronounce a word correctly or a name correctly. You can correct that right in the software. And then up at the top of each block, you've got the current AI voice you have created, or selected, I should say. And then you have the pitch. If you want to increase that, you click on this. You can drag this to higher pitch or lower pitch if you like. Speed, you can say I have it as minus 10%. So if an AI voice speaks a little bit too quickly, you can slow it down by however many percentage you want. You can speed it up. You can change that per block if you want to. It doesn't have to apply to the entire thing. And then finally add pause in here. You can see I've had these pause weak after each sentence. So what I wanted to do is, like it's reading a story, I wanted to pause it for briefly after each sentence before it moves on. So you don't have to add any of this stuff if you don't want to. It's just all options for you. But you can see with adding pause here, you you click in here where you want the pause to be created. You click on add pause, and you've got some options here for how long you want the pause to be. Or you can add your own personal value in here. You can have it pause for 2 seconds or 10 seconds if you really want to, and click on add, kind of a custom value there. So I chose 0.5 seconds to pause after each sentence. And then between the chapters, I have a pause strong, and that's where I did a full second there, just so it's at the end of a chapter and it's going to introduce a new chapter and move on from there in my story. So what I did here to get this information into my project, I'll go back and show you here on our blank project. If I wanted to paste something in here from text, so let's say that I went to ChatGPT, and if you haven't used ChatGPT yet, it's really cool. There's all sorts of amazing things coming out with it. It's going to get better and better, but right now it's still an amazing tool. So what I did to create my mystery, I just typed in this prompt here: create a 5-minute murder mystery for a podcast, make the main character an eccentric genius detective. In the introduction, include a background story about the main character and about how he couldn't get along with his colleagues and so on. So I just did that really simple thing, pressed enter, and it created basically 90% of my story for me within about 30 seconds. It typed all this out. So ChatGPT is really amazing. I highly encourage you to play around with it if you haven't already. It can really save you a ton of time. So if I wanted to paste something into our current story, so like the title, I'd go ahead and highlight that. I could copy it, and then I wanted to move it into Murf AI. And from here, if I wanted to paste, if you try to paste something into Murf AI, you can see I just went ahead and it printed it right in there, pasted it right in there for me. So you can copy and paste directly into Murf AI if you like, and it makes it really simple and easy. Right? So if I want to add a block, let's go back and do that again. Let's say I wanted to add this whole paragraph in here as the narration for my story here. I click in here, then I paste. And if you're pasting more than one sentence in there, it's going to give you this pop-up saying select a paste preference. It's going to split a script into paragraphs. You can split it into sentences if you want to, or not split it into sentences. It defaults to splitting it into sentences depending on how you want it to read. Or if you want to split each into sentences, you can see it forms each sentence becomes a separate block in the project itself. I kept it pretty simple. I want to just split it by paragraphs and have it read sentence by sentence, so I can put my pauses in there. And then once I choose what I like to do for how I want it to paste the paragraph, I go ahead and click on paste script here, and you can see it separated it out for me. So within these, I can do some of those features that I talked about before. I can change my narrator right from here. Click on that drop down. I'm going to hide my pro voices for now, and I want a British accent here. I kind of like the way it sounds with British accents reading a murder mystery. So if I wanted to select Edward here, you can sample these in here by selecting play. You can favorite some if you want to as well. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to Edward here. And you can see it switched to Edward just for this block here. So up at my first one here, I don't have Edward on there. So what I forgot to do is click on apply voice to entire project. So I'm going to go ahead and hide those again. I'm going to choose English UK and choose Edward. And now every block that I create is going to have Edward as my default AI voice. And then once again here, I can choose pitch, speed, I can add pauses in here, I can emphasize certain words, I can mess around with the settings in here about pronunciations, copy the block settings, apply the whole settings to the whole project. All sorts of great features that it has in here, makes it really easy and cut down a ton of time on this one. So you can see that's kind of how the pace feature works. So going back to my other project that I already have completed, my Roseville mystery here, and as that comes up, you can see it automatically saves. You can bounce back and forth between projects and so on. You can play individual parts of a project just to see how it sounds. You can play entire blocks if you like. You can play the whole project if you want to. So really, really awesome stuff here. So that's the basics for adding in text in here and making the choices for your AI voice and how it wants to read from here. Let's check out one of these here. Let's see how it sounds.
Dr. Samuel Blackwood was once a rising star in the Chicago police force, known for his exceptional intuition and unorthodox methods.
Okay, so you can kind of test and see, have it read a sentence at a time, a whole block at a time, whatever you like, to kind of see how it's sounding. So I really like that sound. I like the way he reads. I like the pace of it and so on. So I can move on to kind of the next piece of making this a really cool sounding podcast. And what I want to do there, I want to add some media to it. So I'll go to the media section. I want to add some music. I don't really need any video for it. I mean, obviously that's an option, but I don't need any video for this. So I'm just going to add some music. And what I can do here, I can search input. I can go to a certain genre if I want to, different types of music here. I can go to a certain mood. Maybe I want some suspenseful or scary type of things for a murder mystery, energy vocals, all sorts of great options here if you want to search and filter for some. But I found a pretty easy way is that I just want to have some mystery sounding music. And to be able to listen to some of these, you can go ahead and play the sample. And if you want to skip ahead in the sample, you can tell where it's a little louder here. All right, so pretty cool, kind of builds, kind of stays a little calm. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm kind of looking for some old style kind of mystery music. So maybe some Sherlock Holmes style stuff. So one quirky mystery. I'm going to try that one and see. Yeah, here we go. All right, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So you can see that runs for 1 minute and 49 seconds. What I want to do is to move this into my timeline. I click on it. You can see I've selected one track. You can select multiple if you like. And then I'm going to click on next. So then it gives you the option of you can duplicate the track, you can delete the track, and then there's more options here. You can move it up or down if you have different tracks. So I know this is only 1 minute 49, and my story is probably 4 to 5 minutes like I asked it to. So I want to duplicate this a couple of times and move this right into my story so it plays the entire time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on add to timeline. And when it does, it brings it back here to my timeline here. And it's kind of hidden at the bottom, but I click that arrow. You can toggle that if you want it out of your way. But I toggled it up. You can see it's got one quirky mystery in there. And it's got that in you can see it duplicated a few times. It goes all the way through my reading here. If I added a video, it'd be in this middle slot. Okay. So then what I want to do here is I might play a quick sample of it just to kind of see what it sounds like. And then I can make some adjustments here to this volume mixer, which is really cool. I can have the volume of the narration a lot louder and then the volume of the music a little softer. You can have, and then video, you can change that as well. If you have auto ducking on, which is really cool, depending on what type of project you're working on, it'll automatically reduce the volume of the background track when the voiceover is being played. So if you have long pauses in between a voice or something like that, and you want the music to be louder but then quieter when it's reading, you can do that. I don't really need that for this project because I pretty much just have straight reading all the way through, so I don't need to toggle that so much. So what I'm going to do here, and then I've messed around with that, I'm going to go ahead and generate this. So when you have an open play button there, that means it needs to generate. So it basically needs to generate the changes I made. So when I do that, I'm going to go ahead and ask it to build my preview. You can see it's building up in the percentages there. You can see how it tracks and so on. A little multitasking you can do while that's building if you like. So you can see how easy it is to kind of move things around, add features, add music, and so on. Real quick, if I wanted to change the length of the music in any section here, I could highlight it down here. I can click and drag. If I have multiple songs in here, I can make one song shorter, or maybe just one to an end of a certain chapter or slide or whatever. And then I could drag my next song or music to cover that up, or your next song to start at the next slide. All right. Okay, so you can see that it's finished generating. Let's go ahead and play the most of this, and you guys can hear it, and we'll see how it turns out.
Dr. Samuel Blackwood was once a rising star in the Chicago police force, known for his exceptional intuition and unorthodox methods. However, his eccentric personality and tendency to go against the grain often put him at odds with his fellow detectives. Despite his success in solving complex cases, Dr. Blackwood eventually found himself feeling like a misfit in the rigid and bureaucratic police force. Frustrated with the limitations placed on him, Dr. Blackwood made the bold decision to leave the force and become a private investigator. As a private detective, he was free to use his unique talents to solve cases in his own way, and his reputation as an eccentric genius soon spread throughout the city.
Okay, so I'm liking the sound of it. I like the music in the background. I think you can hear the voice pretty well here. But if I wanted to change that, I could increase it. I could lower the music here. I could delete some of it and so on. And then also, if I listen to it and realize, yeah, that's maybe too long of an intro. I originally thought it was okay, but maybe I want to get rid of some of this intro. You can click on here. You can delete certain sentences within blocks. You can delete entire blocks. I can just go right in here. I can literally delete and type in what I'd rather have it say, and it'll just do that. It just needs to regenerate and go from there. So a really, really easy way to get some voiceovers and things for any sorts of projects. Like I said, I did this podcast as a quick and easy example, but you can also do marketing, promotion, education type of stuff here. Really, really versatile application here. So really liking it, and I'm playing around with it, using it for lots of different things for my purposes and things. So wanted to share this with everybody. So that's all I have about Murf AI. It's great. What you can do is, if you want to give it a shot, you get 10 minutes for free. You can go ahead and click the link in the description of the video down below, as always with YouTube. Go ahead and click on that. It'll take you right to the page there. You click on Open Studio. You can create your account. You get 10 minutes for free to mess around with it. And actually, when you're done with each one of them, you can click on Export if you want to get this to whatever media you're using. Once you're done with the project, you click on Export. It allows you to do video, voice only, voice and music, or just the script in different types of file types, formats, quality, all sorts of things. And if you do use music like I did, I want to go ahead and download these YouTube codes if I'm going to upload this onto YouTube, and make sure that we're getting credit to the music and so on, so YouTube doesn't think we're violating any copywriting issues. So once you select all your different options here, you click on download. It'll download it right to your PC, then you can upload it wherever you like, and you're all set. So really cool feature there. Well, let's go back to, I'll show you the pricing. It's really an affordable product here. So if I want to go to pricing and kind of show you the plans here, you can see the free one here, what you get there. The basic plan, $19 per month. You can put in how many users you want, Pro and Enterprise. So really, really affordable piece of software that you can use over and over and over again and really get your money's worth, and you really use a lot because it's so quick and easy. So that's it for Murf AI. Like I said, go ahead and click the link in the description if you want to try it out, get your free 10 minutes. And if you want to try ChatGPT, I definitely highly encourage you to do that as well. Look forward to your comments down below. Feel free to ask any questions and so on. Hope you like the video, and we'll see you next time.